Okay, today we're going to make adobo, pork adobo. And what I've done is, I go to Costco and get boneless pork spare ribs, country style spare ribs, which is a little on the fatty side, but still in all, you trim off the fat and it, the fat gives it a lot of flavor. But I trim off the fat and you burn that off in the pan, and you'll get a wonderful adobo. Of course, you can use pork loin if you want to. It's a little leaner, but the rest of the ingredients are real easy. Soy sauce, bay leaf, black peppercorns, whole, and apple cider vinegar, fresh garlic, and you can use, today I used canola oil, or if you want to add a little flavor to it, a little more flavor, peanut oil. Both of them are just fine. I use apple cider vinegar, but you can also use white vinegar, and it's a little less pungent. But I like the kick of apple cider vinegar, and that's it. Okay, I've got a couple of hunks of pork here. This is barbecued. I'm sorry, not barbecued. This is pork spare ribs, boneless spare ribs, country style. Okay, what I've got is country style spare ribs, boneless spare ribs I've got from Costco. They're kind of fatty, so I'm taking as much fat as I can off of this thing. And then what I'll do is cut it into little chunks. This is kind of hard. So I'm cutting it into sizable chunks, probably 1-inch squares. And what I'm gonna do is get these prepared and then put them in a pot. Get it ready for my adobo. See, about that size. That'd be okay. Maybe even a little smaller. Next, I've got to have some garlic cloves. Again, I'll do about maybe four or five garlic cloves. Can't have too much garlic. And mince them up. Just go whoop, poof, ah. Oh, that got smushed. And then, that's sticky. The trick is not to get your finger in part of the recipe. That's not so good. Okay, get that. And then we go and the noise is an integral part of mincing the garlic. Kind of like that. Whoop, there you go. Oh, jeez! What happened? That was a flying garlic. Okay, do that again. And then one more. Boy, that skin's kind of hard to get out. There we go. All smushed up. Okay, there you go. Get that out of there. That ought to do it. What do you you think? Yeah. I got more of them on this side than anything. Now I got this. Next, we're gonna. There we go. Next, we're gonna add a little oil. I use canola, or you can use olive oil, or sometimes avocado oil is good too. And put the old garlic in there. And let's see. Get that going. This is my famous adobo pan. Actually only doing a small batch of adobo pork today. This is probably about maybe a pound and a half or so. We just had it in the freezer, so I thought we'd give it finish it off. Have a little adobo snack this weekend. So what I'm going to do is brown the pork and then after brown the pork, then we're going to put the rest of the ingredients in there. Yeah, it's around, starting to brown now. Oops! Oh, that's hot. Okay. Longer. Okay, now these are starting to get brown. Nice color. And it's not necessary to cook it all the way through. You just want to brown it and get a nice little color to these things. Otherwise they get really bland looking. Okay, that's cool. Huh? What do you think? Great. And then I'm gonna I've already added a half a cup of soy sauce, right in there, see, half a cup. And what I'm gonna do is put in another half a cup of apple vinegar. And we're not gonna add any water. That right in there. We're not going to add any water because when I cover this up, then the moisture will come up and condense, and it'll just add water on its own, automatic.
Hello?
Turn that up like that.
Hello?
Now we've added the garlic,
Hello?
no salt, the soy sauce. Then we have to add bay leaf. Oh. Ouch.
Hello?
Add these things in 1, 2,
Hey, I'm trying to make
3,
this.
maybe another one. Oh yeah, that's good. And then, and we're gonna add the pepper. Oh, maybe that so much. What is that?
That's correct.
About a tablespoon. So let's see, I've added the bay leaf, the garlic, the pepper. That's pretty much it. As you can see, it's starting to get moisturized. Right now it looks really thick, but when that water condenses in there, it's going to add another half a cup of water, which is great. Okay, so that's ready to go. Now we're just going to put it on simmer, cover it up, and we're done. And just cover it up like that. Simmer. Let that cook for, I'm going to say, a couple hours. Take a look at it in a couple hours, and I'm sure it's going to be just fine. That meat's just going to be just
No, I'm
soft and tender. Put it over white rice. I'll show you that later. And it's dinner time.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, it's been about an hour. So I'm gonna open this up, take a look at it. Now look at all that gravy in there. And that's all just from the water condensing inside. Still pretty kind of chewy still, so I'm gonna let it go for another hour. But it's got that, look at that great color. Okay. Yep, it's looking good. All right, let's leave it for another hour. Cover it up. Still on simmer? Yep, okay. Okay, now we're gonna make some rice. And the great thing about this trick is that you can put any amount of rice in here, a cup and a half, whatever you want. See, and I'm not even measuring. Okay, that's about right. Yeah. Then we rinse it like so. Get all the starch out of it. Kind of squish it between your fingers. And rinse it off. Rinse that stuff off. See, it's getting, water's getting clear now. This is a great trick. The maid we had in Manila showed us how to do this. And what you do is, you see you got so much water in there. Get your finger, and you get about this much water. So you measure from the top of the rice to the water level, and that's about right. And that's it. That's how much water you want to put in there. Easy schmeezy. Okay, I've got in the water up, the burner is up to high, and I stir it occasionally. You don't want the rice to burn underneath in the bottom of the pan. But it's going to start boiling here in just a second. And what we want to do is, you want to have some of the water boil off. Probably take a minute or so, and see, you're starting to boil now. Now we've got a rolling boil. Make sure you stir it so it doesn't burn on the bottom of the pan. Aha! Look at all this. Okay, now we want to get rid of some of this liquid on top. And maybe a few more, maybe 20, 30 seconds. Oh, it's going good. Yeah. Yahoo! Yeah, it's working now. Okay, now I want to put the burner down all the way down to low. There we go. Cover it. And then cook it for 12 minutes. And after 12 minutes, I'm on a gas burner here, but after 12 minutes, I just turn it off and just let it sit. Don't open it up. It'll sit there and steam, and you'll have perfect rice every time. Okay, let's take a look at the adobo. It's been in there for another maybe 45 minutes to close to an hour. And yeah, look at, see, it's nice and soft. Look at that. Oh yeah. Ooh, let's give it a shot. Okay, let's taste this. Perfect. Now, you notice, got a little oil in there, probably from the fat. But what you can do if you don't want the oil is you can drain the oil, or just let it cool. Stick it in the after it cools down, stick it in the refrigerator, and then the oil would rise up, and then there's just cake on top, and you just kind of scrape that off, and then you'll have a lot less oil. So this looks good. This is ready to eat. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, love it. That's it, you got adobo. We'll cover it up, let it sit there for just a little bit. Steep its own juices. See, that was easy. Okay, the rice ought to be done by now. That was about 12 minutes. Let it sit there for a second. And it's steaming, and I just want to show you this. You can leave it closed for a while, but I like to go in here and kind of fluff it up. Look at that, isn't that nice? And we never had to measure or anything, and it comes out perfect rice. There you go.